BYU-ECU? Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
One day away from East Carolina taking on BYU inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Welcome into Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday. A big game vibe Football Friday as we're getting ready for Pirates Cougars 7:30 Eastern kickoff on ESPN2, one of the headline primetime games of Saturday night. The comments section is open on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you got a question or comment or concern, drop it there. Over the course of the next hour, we'll get to it. We're also live on Apple Podcasts, or you can catch the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as download the IBX Media app where we are streaming live. And you can also archive the Logan Zone there, along with the Patrick Johnson Show and Talk of the Town. We have our game picks to make, including ECU BYU. We'll do that throughout the next hour. We also have in studio Bobby Harward, not to be confused with an ECU football player. He is wearing the ECU helmet. Bobby, are you ready for game day, man?
We're about just over 24 hours out. I am pumped, jacked, ready to go. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, it's time to tighten up. It's time to get ready. Send in your questions, send in your comments, and let's have a freaking ball. He
is wearing the ECU helmet that he got when you were on staff, you were saying?
Yeah, I got it on staff.
Okay.
So originally the plan, if I continued coaching, was to have a collection of like all the helmets. Brad Davis, former O-line coach, had that, and I saw it, and I was like, man, that's really cool. So he had all the places he had coached at. I was in the process of collecting myself, but yeah, figured it's a little tight. But I wanted to set the tone. We got a big-time ball game, should be a big-time atmosphere, and we got to have a big-time show.
There's no doubt about it. Sup Dogs, by the way, brings you Bobby today, 213 East 5th Street, Greenville, North Carolina. Check it out, downtown Greenville. And the rumor is that Sup Dogs will be the location for next Thursday's Army game for the Sports Center show in that afternoon. So looking forward to that. But we're focused on BYU right now. Philip, how are we feeling on this Football Friday?
Feeling good. Excited.
Where's your helmet?
I didn't
You've come up here with the helmet before.
I have come up here with the helmet before. I was going to let Bobby do his helmet today, and then you've got to do a helmet at some point yourself there.
I have an authentic Denver Broncos helmet.
Okay.
Do y'all want to know who it's autographed by? Former Broncos quarterback.
John Elway.
Nope.
There's no Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
My next guest is going to be Greasy.
Jay Cutler autographed helmet. I think it'll be worth more money if I just erase the autograph. But I'll tell you what, if the Broncos are ever in a big ball game, I will wear my Broncos helmet.
I think you should wear it on the flight to Denver next week.
I don't know if I can get that through security. Maybe if the Broncos win next Monday night when I'm in attendance, I'll wear it on the Tuesday show.
Cool.
Will you be back by Tuesday?
On the Wednesday show, because you're hosting the Tuesday show.
That's right.
Yep. Because I'm gonna do Monday from Denver, and then you'll handle Tuesday, and I will do Wednesday. So that is our plan for that. Let's check out the comments section. We've got fireworks for the football game, guys, and Johnny Gardner wants to know who's paying for the fireworks. I want to say that they're sponsored by Minji's Bottling Group, is what I've heard. So that's how ECU's getting the money for the fireworks. So excited about that. I don't know. Are you?
I'm excited about the fireworks.
Your kids will be excited for them.
They'll hear them. They won't see them. Yeah. But surprised, like not on the border or something is sponsoring the fireworks there. That would have been interesting. But
did ECU just take Coastal's fireworks since they didn't have to use them last week?
That's a good question.
Because, no fireworks were shot off after the entrance. All right. Case from Riley wants to know, can Bobby play center? You got the helmet. Do you think you can get down there and snap the football?
I can definitely snap the football. I'm a pretty good long snapper as well, just practicing out in the yard. But, I could snap the ball, get it back there. In terms of driving anybody off the line, BYU has some big jokers up front, so I don't know if that necessarily has happened. But I'll get in the way. I'll sacrifice my body.
Bobby is here. He will sacrifice himself for a Pirate victory. Rich wants to know, where will the fireworks shoot off from? About time. If Coastal and Charlotte can do it, so can we. My understanding is from the Murphy Center and from Town Bank Tower. So multi-point firework locations.
So my question is, normally we shoot off the cannon when we score. Is the cannon going first and then the fireworks, or vice versa, or the same time? How's that working?
That's a good question. I would think they usually shoot the cannon like right after the touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like right as it happens. I almost think you would go cannon first, followed by fireworks. If you could do it simultaneously, I guess that would be cool. But I don't think there's going to be that much coordination going on. So interested to see how this all plays out. Jones Bones is in the chat. He says, put the gold ECU logo back on the helmets, at least for an alternate. I go, when does the Adidas contract expire? The contract expires next summer. Jones Bones. John Gilbert was on the show earlier this spring, I want to say, and basically said it's most likely going to be Adidas again, barring a late change. The gold ECU logo, do you mean like the gold ECU flying saber? Because otherwise I was thinking the pirate script in gold. Yeah.
But I guess that's not necessarily a logo. You'd probably say pirate script.
Because isn't the pirate script helmets right now more white? Let's see.
Yeah, but so like Henry's shirt that he had, that yellow
Okay. You could
script,
just do it
you just
in
put
yellow.
that right on the purple helmet. Yeah.
Because, they've done it in dark purple and in light purple. Because on the black helmets, they have to brighten the purple. So it could be done.
Well, you sure it's different? I think that may be the same sticker.
Maybe it is the same. It just looks different based on... it kind of looks the same. Nothing like uniform talk. How do you feel about the combo they're going with tomorrow? The purple helmet, throwback jersey, gold pants.
It's a clean look. No doubt it's one of our best looks. I am a little disappointed. I don't know if I'm ready for a gold helmet yet, but I am ready for gold jerseys. I know a lot of Pirate faithful before my time would be completely against it, but I didn't know what ECU was the last time they tried it out the gold and got annihilated. So it really doesn't have effect on me. I mean, we've already crushed the all-white jinx.
Multiple times.
Yeah. So I think we can crush the gold jersey jinx. I think in due time.
Yeah, nobody's complaining about the white helmet curse anymore, which you guys started when you were on staff, unfortunately. That was, I think it was that Cincinnati game. That was a tough one.
We had one of the equipment managers. The players didn't know. We had one of the equipment managers walk in that Friday night before in full uniform, and he showed it off for the team.
That's hilarious. All right, Ben Byron wants ECU to bring back the garbage highlighter uniforms, speaking of gold, and break tradition of losing those. I think I'd like to see gold helmets before gold jerseys. I don't know. I mean, if you're not going to do them for the painted gold game, I don't know when you're going to do them. But it's been rumored for years, Philip, and we talked about it like a gold, like it can just go very wrong, a gold helmet and a gold jersey if it's not done right.
Yeah, the only gold that has ever really seemed to look good is like the 49ers gold, where it's more of a...
or the Notre Dame.
Yeah, the Notre Dame type, where it's more of a true gold than a yellow that we're claiming to be gold. I mean, let's talk about how bad Charlotte looked last night. And I'm not just talking about in the game, but like that off-brand gold they used. I know too much gold can be done wrong, but, to Ben's point, though, bring it back and try and get that monkey off your back. I mean, heck, why not? Let's just full send. If it looks like crap, it can't be as bad as the rotten mustard-looking Jacksonville Jaguar jerseys.
Here's my other thing. LSU gave us the template last year. You wear your white helmet with your pirate script, a gold jersey, and your white pants. And they did something similar, and I thought it looked really sharp. You don't necessarily have to go all gold. I think that would look ridiculous.
Yeah, it's too much gold.
Yeah.
Which I do agree with. All right, some more comments here about the game itself. We've got Robert saying this game will simply come down to winning third downs on both sides of the ball as Bobby adjusts his helmet. Can't go 3 and out and allow them to control the clock. Also, and we were texting about this, Bobby, like it's just such a contrast in styles. You had a great article on Hoist the Colors. Our film study series is here. Check it out if you're a subscriber, or at least the first part of the article is free to read as well. We still don't really know what to expect from BYU's offense. We do know their defense is legit. I mean, they were 13th nationally in total defense last year. They have much of that personnel back. Their linebackers are elite. They're big. They're physical. So we kind of know what we're going to get on that side of the ball. Offensively is like for me, this game comes down to, obviously ECU's got to play well, and then it comes down to, all right, is Bear Bachmeier, is he ready to win a game like this? And if he is, BYU will probably win the game. If not, ECU should have a very good shot at winning. Your thoughts as your helmet driving me crazy.
Nah, I'm going to take it off so I can focus and not focus on the helmet and answer your questions.
It looks good on the desk.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it does.
Might
Sure
be a
does.
helmet sticker.
Which way are we turning it here? There we go.
There you go.
Oh. All right. To answer your questions, yeah, defense is legit. To give people an idea, they haven't had great opponents to start the year. They played Portland State and they played Stanford, who lost to Hawaii, and it's just horrendous.
Portland State might be the worst FBS team, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. They've only given up, though, 212 yards total through those two games. So that's not 212 per game. It's 212 total. So they're averaging giving up 106 yards per game, 99 pass yards, and 7 rushing yards per game. They are giving up 0.23 yards per rush. Regardless who your opponent is, that's freaking impressive. So they're the real deal. But offensively, to me, this BYU team, and I think we saw it before the whole quarterback situation before the season, they're a legit top 15 roster with the exception of the quarterback position. That's the thing that's why they're at 26 right now in the AP poll. If they ever figure it out and maybe later in the year Bear becomes legit, but right now he's young, he's struggling. The offensive coordinator's doing a great job of trying to keep it simple for him. Saw a lot of screen passes. They're doing quite a bit of motion, and they're going to rely heavy on the run game. And I expect them to come into Dowdy-Ficklin thinking they're going to play bully ball, thinking they're going to be able to line up and mash up front. Now, what I'm curious to see, and I mentioned this in the breakdown, it seems like they major in inside zone, and then they minor in gap scheme runs. And watching the brief amount of highlights I did of the Portland State, because that's just not really a good tell in terms of what they're going to do schematically. They did seem to run a little bit more gap scheme than we saw against Stanford, but Stanford, they just lined up and ran inside zone. Now, they give that split zone look that we broke down in the article from a number of different ways in personnel groupings, but it was still inside zone and split zone. And then the other thing I pointed out in the article was formation to the boundary. That was another thing that they seem to do. And what formation to the boundary allows the offense in a way is to dictate the defensive alignment and formation. But because the formation is in the boundary, so the short side of the field, that means BYU has advantage in the run game and more hats on the short side of the field. So then defensively, you have to adjust, and you have to bring down a safety, which is what we would do under Rick Smith. You got to adjust to try to match up and fit in the run game in the boundary. And we'll see if that's something they try to utilize against us. I saw it a lot more against Stanford than I did Portland State, but it's just something else to keep an eye on.
You know, if you're ECU, I am interested to see, too, how much do you blitz in a game like this? Because you do want to throw – I mean, in an ideal world, of course, you just mix it up and keep Bear Bachmeier guessing. A lot of that comes down to stopping the run on first and second. You know, if you get them in second and long, it's going to be harder for them to just line up and run the football. If it's second and medium, they can go to anything they want to. Same thing with third down situations. But, you know, how much do you just show blitz and play coverage? Because, you know, the OC, I don't think he's going to be counting on Bear to go through multiple reads in the passing game. So they're probably going to try to scheme up some things just to get guys open. And a lot of that comes down to stopping the run early on downs.
Yeah, and that's kind of what gives me confidence in this defense. If you look over the Blake Harrell tenure when we've played these quote-unquote Power 4 opponents and these bigger lines up front, I mean, we've held our own, if not done really, really well against the run. I think we'll see very similar to what we saw against NC State. Maybe a lot of line stunts and line movement up front, more so than necessarily full-on blitzing, unless they feel very confident in their percentages for run-pass. Just to kind of give a breakdown, normally each defensive coordinator, based upon the personnel grouping in the down and distance, is going to have percentage of run and pass, and that's how they come up with their call sheet. And so unless they feel confident, I think they're going to run blitz a lot. What concerns me, and we were kind of texting about this, there's a fine line of blitzing to stop the run and then putting your corners on an island. That's the other thing that scares me more so is, number one, Bear Bachmeier is going to have to get the ball down the field. But those two receivers out wide are 6'4" and 6'5". we've seen our corners have been in great position so far this season, and they've been in the right spot at the right time. But we don't have any 6'2", 6'3" corners, I believe, unless I'm not looking at the roster correctly. So
a true freshman, but he's not going to play in this game,
right.
most likely. Chance Graves is the bigger corner, so you might see him a little more.
Okay. And so, yeah, that's a matchup problem in and of itself. So you don't necessarily want to leave them on an island, but I do expect, like, for example, almost every second down in medium or long, we had some sort of line stunt going on, and I expect something similar on Saturday night.
All right, curious y'all's take on this, and then we'll hit a break. Corsair says, how can the Pirates get off to a quicker start than what they've been achieving? You know, we've seen ECU win the toss 3 straight games. They have gone on offense first the last 2 games. They went in defense first against State. To me, I think you got to go defer if you win the toss, because it just feels like that type of game. Yeah, it would be nice to go out, move down the field, score, put them behind the 8 ball, but also you kind of want the crowd juice right from the start with that quarterback on the field. I'd put him right into the fire. Phillip, what do you say?
Yeah, I would. I think the fans are always a little more rowdy at the very, very beginning too. And sometimes if you go out there and you receive and you go 3 and out, it can take the crowd a little bit out of it, where it might take till 3rd down for them to get back in it. But I think if you go out there, boot the ball out of the back of the end zone, and just have your kickoff team just running to the sidelines, pumping up the crowd, you can put yourself in a really good position where you can possibly have a loud crowd on 1st down, and that's honestly how it should be. East Carolina's better at it than some teams, but I don't think it should have to be 3rd and 4th down for the crowd to get ruckus. Just from the opening kickoff, especially in a game like this, we're on defense, it's got to be loud.
Any thought of going offense, Bobby?
I would go defense. Yeah, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. What's the over-under for total points?
Like 49 and a half, 48, around there.
I'd almost be tempted to take the under. And
I see a game in the low 20s.
Yeah, and I think, to me, the last thing you want from an offensive standpoint is to come out and, go 3 and out, punt the ball back, and then bust a big play or something. I mentioned this a few times this week. I really see this game very similar to the Michigan game up in Ann Arbor in 23, just from the standpoint of sheer size up front. Talent-wise, obviously, Bear is no J.J. McCarthy, so I'm not making that comp. But just kind of in terms of the size and the way they run the football, it's very similar to me. And I think of that goal line stand we had there early. Or was it not necessarily a goal line stand? We had them backed up.
Yeah, and they were trying to basically just line up and run the ball, and you got almost a safety.
Yeah, and I envisioned that in my head, and that's exactly how you want to start this series or in this ball game.
You're right, Bear's not J.J. McCarthy. He can play 2 whole weeks without getting injured.
Good call. Also a much better runner than J.J. McCarthy, specifically in a quarterback power situation. All right, let's get a break in. We'll pick this game on the other side plus more with our game picks in college. A lot of good games this week, and we'll dive into that before our NFL picks later. This is Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. You get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Pirates play here.
Time to play the game!
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors Football Friday edition of the show. Big game Football Friday. We're going to make some picks now. Let's start with BYU East Carolina. We got Bobby Harward brought to you by Sup Dogs. Check them out. Downtown Greenville. Support them. Support Crush Vodka as well. Philip Hilkinen producing today. BYU, 6.5-point favorite at East Carolina. I had this as a win in the preseason for ECU. That was amidst the 7-5 record prediction. I've had a good feeling about this game since it came on the schedule. I just think this is a good spot for ECU. I also think Blake Harrell in these types of games, from what I've seen, the way his teams approach it, I don't think they're going to be scared of the moment. At times, I felt like the moment was a little too big for ECU the last handful of years. I think that changes tomorrow night. Give me the Pirates to win outright and cover the 6.5. Bobby.
I like it.
24-21, by the way.
24-21, which would be 45 underneath the 49, right?
It would be.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Love it. I'm also going the Pirates.
Let's go.
I'm with you. I have a great feeling about this game. You've mentioned it before. Who does Blake Harrell remind you most of coaching?
Ruffin McNeil.
Ruffin McNeil. What did Ruffin McNeil do during his tenure here?
He won big games.
He won big games. This team will be ready. This team will be excited. Dowdy Ficklin is going to be rocking. The Pirates get it done. Let's go Pirates.
Yeah, this one's tough. This one's really tough. And I believe, and I'm checking on this, did the last 2 times both these teams met come down to a game-winning field goal?
The last time did. The 2017 game did not.
We handled business 2017.
Now, the 2015 game there, BYU scored with 19 seconds left to win.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 3 have come down, basically.
I have a little bad feeling they're going to get a little revenge and hit a game-winning field goal. Seems like ECU's never on the good side of game-winning field goals. So I'm going to take BYU to win, but I am going to take the Pirates to cover for the sake of our pick'em.
I will say their special teams are pretty elite. They've got top-notch kicker, punter. We haven't really talked about that as much. So something that could play a role in this game. ECU's got to be really sound on special teams. Ben Byron says, how do we even know BYU is really that good? They've played the worst of the worst. A lot of it, Ben, is last year's defense was elite. They have much of that personnel back.
Yeah, so most of their turnover is quarterback. Other than that, they're pretty much – I think they got maybe one new starting offensive lineman.
They're good. Trust me. Again, the big question is quarterback. That's what the questions come down to. Final question before we make other picks. Jack wants to know, do we think we'll see more max protection this weekend? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it looks like they mainly stick to a 3-4 man rush, Bobby, although they will show blitz at times. They'll add one. They'll bring those linebackers at times, but I don't know if we'll see a lot of max protect. I think it may depend on the back, whether he stays in the block or not, based on what they're seeing.
Yeah, I could see a more delayed release from the back, like you're mentioning. Everything I saw was really 4-man rush, with the exception of the occasional edge pressure to bring a fifth guy off the edge. I mean, they're essentially lining up in base, and they've been able to do this because their first two opponents have been below average. But they're lining up in base and just saying, hey, beat us. Show us you're better. We're going to be sound in what we do. Now, what's going to be key for the offensive front, and we've talked about this a little bit, is the way they line up. They show some, even though they're bringing 4, they show some unique looks up front. So it's going to really be on the communication up front and being sound and who they're picking up and who they're sliding to, who they're blocking, that sort of thing.
All right, so Bobby and I are on ECU. I guess Philip is as well. We're on ECU to cover, but we've got ECU money line. I don't have it because I can't bet it, but that's what I would if I could. All right, other college games. Texas Tech at Utah. Utah is the 3-point favorite. This is a 10 a.m. local kick in Utah. Texas Tech is kind of the preseason darling. They spent all that money. This is their first real test for either team. And just give me the home team here. I don't love the early start, but Utah, historically, very tough to beat at home. Texas Tech, they got to prove to me they can go win this type of game.
I agree with everything you just said. And I'll also say I wouldn't be shocked, too, if Texas Tech just lights it up. But outside of that, I'm going the Utes. They're at home. Texas Tech is traveling. The early start time, give me the Utes.
This one's tough because I don't feel like either team has really been tested this year. They're both 3-0, but they haven't really played anybody. But I'm going to believe in all the money that the Red Raiders put in this offseason. Give me Texas Tech.
Philip going with the Red Raiders on the road. All right, interesting game here. Arkansas, 7.5-point favorite going to Memphis. Now, Arkansas will bring a lot of fans, but this is a big spot for Memphis, kind of like similar getting BYU at home, although not quite as local, obviously. 7.5. Arkansas can score this year. They don't have much defense. I think this is a high-scoring game. I'm going to take Memphis to cover. I've got Memphis money line. I think the value there is good. I don't know if they'll win, but I put a little sprinkle on it just for the potential return. So I'm going Memphis to cover 7.5. I think this is a critical game for them, and they've been pretty good in these spots the last few years at home.
Yeah, I'm with you. Memphis, to me, has not looked great. They took a while to put Troy away last week, but this is just one of those games. I think just like we're getting hyped up for BYU here, I think they're getting hyped up for Arkansas, and it's probably even more of a rivalry there just because Arkansas is much closer to Memphis. And
is Arkansas that good? I mean,
that's my thing too. Like you said, they've scored, but they're not stopping really anybody either. So Memphis, to me, I don't know if they're as good as I originally anticipated going into the year, but I do think they at least cover this game. Give me the Tigers.
It'll be different on this one, too. I just think Arkansas's had that tough road test. They went to Ole Miss last week. They hung in the game. They proved they can beat hang with good football teams. And I think this week they proved they can beat good football teams, and I think they do it pretty comfortably.
All right. Philip on the opposite side of Bobby and myself through two picks, I should say, because, again, he's on ECU to cover. We'll see where he goes here. NC State is at Duke. Duke is a 2.5-point favorite. Philip follows the Blue Devils, so I'll let you lead this one off.
Yeah, Duke has really shot themselves in the foot the last 2 weeks. I just thought they gave too many possessions away against Illinois a couple weeks ago, and then last week just kind of it almost reminded you of the way ECU played against State, where they dug themselves into an early hole and tried to climb out of it and kind of ran out of time despite being the better team late. So, yeah, I think they're not falling to 1-3. They're ready to go. 2.5-point favorites at home. They have absolutely throttled State each of the last 2 years. I still don't think NC State's that good. Give me the Blue Devils.
You want to go, Bobby?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm tailing Philip here. I just still not a believer that State is that good. I mean, they struggled with Wake, and Wake's terrible, and they struggled with UVA. That's TBD. But the one thing I have hesitancy with Duke is their defense has not been at what it was last year. So that concerns me.
It'll come around.
You think so?
I believe.
I love the belief. But I think that offense has improved. Give me the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Duke here too. I think these teams are pretty even. I do think this is a higher scoring game. I think State's offense is legit. I think their defense is not. But I also think NC State is not going to start the season 6-0, and if they win this game, they will, because they play Virginia Tech at home and then Campbell. So I'm going to go with the Blue Devils at home. It just feels like this is the spot. Duke wins. How about State? I mean, having to play ECU, Virginia, Wake, and Duke the first 4 games. It's a lot of regional football.
Yeah.
They've had 2 away games, and they haven't left the state.
And they'll have just as many fans as Duke because, sorry, Philip, but Duke football fans are sad. I mean, there were more Illinois fans than Duke football fans.
I think there were.
Yeah. But, hey, I like Manny Diaz, and I think he turns it around this week. Auburn at Oklahoma. This is the revenge game for the Auburn quarterback. I can't think of his name right now. Somebody help me out. Jackson Arnold is the quarterback for the Tigers. Going back to Oklahoma. And the problem with this, as Oklahoma's a 7-point favorite, Brent Venables, a defensive mastermind. He knows exactly what Jackson Arnold wants to do. I think Oklahoma's a better team. Give me the Sooners. I don't love laying 7 points, but I'm going to go with the Sooners to cover. Bobby.
I am going with the Sooners as well. I'm not a believer in Auburn yet. I know they struggled with South Alabama last week. I know they're improved, but I don't know if they're – like Oklahoma to me is legit right now, and so I'm going the Sooners at home.
Yeah, I messed up and took Michigan to cover a couple weeks ago in Norman, and that didn't go well for me, so I'm not getting fooled again. Give me the Sooners.
All right, our final college pick, Illinois at Indiana. You know, this is honestly, even though these two teams are ranked, I hated still putting this game on because I don't like Big Ten football, and I definitely don't like Illinois at Indiana. But 6.5 is the line. Hoosiers favored. 6.5 is a lot of points. I guess I'll take Illinois to cover 6.5. I don't love it. I'm not a real big Illinois believer, but they do have experience. They are an older team. Indiana still with some moving pieces after adding a lot in the portal, so I'll take Illinois to cover 6.5.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I really just don't know what to expect. Yeah. This is to me probably the hardest one of the college slate. But I'm with it. I think we're going to be all the same for these college picks.
The exact same picks.
Yeah,
this could go horribly wrong.
I'm still not. I know Indiana has that transfer from Cal. I don't know how good he is. Give me the Illini to cover.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win this one, but I think they're a good football team. They'll find a way to keep this one within a score if I had to guess. So I'll take Illinois.
A lot of intriguing games this week. I almost put North Texas Army on the list as well. That was a tough one. I think Army's a 2-point favorite. Somebody's a 2-point favorite in that game, maybe North Texas, but that'll be an interesting game to watch. So other games.
I'm really disappointed we didn't pick Rice and Charlotte last night. I can't even say it with a straight face.
Disgusting.
I tried to, and it didn't work.
That was a disgusting
Oh,
display.
my goodness.
I will say Rice's quarterback's fun to watch. I know he got injured.
Yeah.
But 13,000 was the attendance, by the way.
That puts a bad name to Power 6 football. That's what that does.
It does.
13,000 people. Could you imagine 13,000 people at ECU game?
Well, and then they were hyping up the Jerry Richardson expansion, and it's adding 3,000 seats. So it's like all it's doing is helping the big donors who I don't even know how much Charlotte has, and there's not much to it.
They have the ones who care happen to be big donors. That's the problem. They don't have enough common folk that care. That's kind of their issue.
It is a very young program, and ECU has lost them 2 years in a row, so there's only so much to talk. But it still was not a good atmosphere. I'll say that. Congrats to Rice. I love that Rice hire, by the way, with the former Davidson coach. He's off to a 3-1 start for the Owls. All right, we'll get a break in. NFL next. We'll make those picks and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
Welcome back in, Football Friday edition. Shout out Sup Dogs for sponsoring the program, bringing you Bobby Harward on this Football Friday. Philip Pilkington producing. We'll have the pregame show. Philip and I will host 4 to 6:30 on 94.3 The Game tomorrow, counting down the hours to BYU. The network will take over 6:30. Take you up to the 7:30 kickoff. So looking forward to that. Come check us out. We'll be by Town Bank Tower right in front under a tent. It'll be hot, but we'll say hello, and we'll include you in the show if we can. All right, NFL picks. By the way, do we have a standings update, Philip? Sorry to spring this upon you.
No worries.
He's just trying to rub it in while he can, Philip.
Yeah, he is, because he's still in first.
I did terrible last week. So
you did. So last week, you went 4-8.
3-3 college, 1-5 NFL.
Yeah. It gets you down to 21-16. I'm 20-17, and Bobby is 18-19.
Yikes.
Dude, here's the crazy thing. You know why I didn't win last year? College. I'm terrible at college. I'm 8-4 in the NFL right now, and 12-13 in college. You know, Igo, when we started this segment 2 years ago, he's like, it's going to be hard to pick NFL against the spread. It's hard to pick NFL anyways. You and I clearly have different talent because you kick my butt every year in college picks, and you don't even come close to me in NFL.
NFL is just tough. Like these lines this week, I guess you have a natural feel for them.
I do. I don't with college, though. But you grew up more around the college game. I feel like I grew up more around the NFL game.
Definitely, when it comes to picking the spread with NFL, I've always struggled. And we'll probably struggle again this week. Let's start. Falcons, 5.5 at the Panthers. And I took the Panthers last week. What was it, like 6.5 with the Cardinals?
6.5, yeah, and they lost by 5.
Backdoor covered that. I'm taking the Panthers at home. Like, I mean, can the Falcons, can they, like, score? Are they any good? I mean, I guess they beat the Vikings, but are the Vikings any good? Give me the Panthers here to at least cover, if not win outright. I don't know. I just got a gut feeling.
I get what you're saying. Can the Falcons score? Panthers defense, it was improved last week, but has not been great. I'm going to make my pick, but Philip, I also have a question for you since you're a Charlottean.
All right.
And your boy Steve Smith went off on Charlotte this week, so I'm curious your thoughts on that. But as much as I want to put the Panthers to cover here, they normally split the series and will win on the road. So Atlanta normally wins in Charlotte, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Falcons here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to Jim Zoki this week. I've talked to Wes Durham this week. I will say one guy seemed a little more confident than the other guy. Just going to put that out there. With that being said, I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think they can at least keep it within one score. Last week everybody says, "Oh, Bryce looks so much better." That was a lot of prevent defense. However, I still think as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot early, they'll be in the game. So 5.5 is a lot.
What are your thoughts on Steve Smith?
What did he say?
I don't know if I can fully say it, but he said they are a weak but city. But they said another word.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of but.
But just like the fan base or?
Yeah, I think just the city of Charlotte. I guess he was giving them slack and going off because the fan base is like so upset and turned on him. But like my perspective is they haven't had a winning product since Tepper's taken over. And he was trying, if you listen to the whole piece, he's trying to argue like the process of a rebuild. And it's like, well, Panther fans have been told they're rebuilding since 2017.
That's okay.
I've got the quote if you want me to
read it
without cussing. That's what the city does well is be and complain, Smith said. See, when we went to the Super Bowl in 2003, I never forgot how people treated us my rookie year when we were 1-15. Now I know some people are not going to like to hear this, but if you're going to ride and die with your team, ride or die. That's probably the problem with this weak but city is the fair weather fans. Kyle Bailey from WFNZ responded, talking about playing devil's advocate, and then Smith responded, said, "You can't expect and then project your disappointment on everybody in the organization. I respect David Tepper just like I respect Jerry Richardson. Big Cat was like my grandfather to me. He taught me a lot of things, and Mr. Tepper has approached me when he bought the team and was making things right with me for me to come back in the building. Tepper didn't drop no balls last night. He didn't miss or make a block, and he dang sure didn't snap a football. So the person that's not on the field can't be held responsible completely for the person who is on the field." Those are Steve Smith's comments.
Okay, that's understandable. Look, as to his comments about Charlotte, look, Bobby, you're right that we've had nothing to care about in almost a decade, and I will say, like, I probably do look less forward to Panther football than I ever have in my life, so I get it. However, it is a fair weather fan base. I mean, even in the end of the Delhomme era, you still were going to a game with it being like 20% the opposing team's fans because people would sell their tickets because they're like, oh, man, I would rather get money than go. It is a terrible fan base. It is one of the worst fan bases in all of pro sports. I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it publicly. Like, I'm ashamed sometimes to be a Panthers fan, and it's not because of the organization. It's because of the other fans. They're terrible. And then they jump on bandwagons when you get Cam or Kuechly or whatever, but then they jump right back off. It's a horrible fan base, and to have your prodigal son call you out, good for him for calling out the fan base. Now, with that being said, he does have to realize, it's tough when it's this bad, this long, and you won't invest in anyone long term because the second Baker has a bad game, you kick him to the curb, and now he's having success somewhere else. So the Matt Rule thing was a disaster. He didn't use Sam Darnold right. He didn't use Baker Mayfield right. But at the end of the day, this fan base is pretty crappy.
And we're all on the Panthers to cover against the Falcons.
Not I.
No,
you're not. Yeah,
no, I'm going Dirty Birds.
Yep, he's on the Dirty Birds. All right. Philip was talking for so long. Not
sorry,
turning your fault.
Bobby, yes.
I forgot what the original pick was.
I distracted. That's my apologies.
Ben Byram says Bryce may have the worst clock management and arm in the NFL. And me and Philip have been to a game when they had Darnold where we might have been the only Panther fans there. So,
yeah, we might have been.
Was that 49ers game?
No, we played New England, like Mac Jones, New England. It's like 2021.
It's still, 95 was the first season. So, 30 years.
Yeah, I know. They're still new, but I don't know. It's just.
But yeah, 2 Super Bowl runs in that time. Didn't win it, but
9
still.
Playoff wins.
Yeah.
Like, you've been successful.
I get it. It is frustrating. And it's a big stadium. Anyways, we got to move on and make our picks before we get into any other diatribes. Raiders at Commanders. Commanders are 3.5-point favorites. So
Mariota was just officially named the starter about 20 minutes ago.
Jaden Daniels not playing.
crushed.
Your thoughts? You are the Commanders fan, so I'll let you lead the way here.
Yeah, I'll be quick because I distracted us. But, Mariota's starting, but I still feel confident. Raiders' offense isn't terrific. Our defense is much improved. It didn't look good against the Packers, but I'll be honest, I feel like this is the longest span, that 10-day break, since I've watched the Commanders game. But I'm confident in Mariota. He looked good the 2 times he was out there last year. Give me the Manders, left hand up.
I guess I'm going to go Commanders here. Short turnaround for the Raiders and long wait for the Commanders to scheme up some things for Mariota. And the Raiders have to go across the country. I will go with Washington.
Tough for Vegas, man. You go across the country week 1 and then right back to the East Coast week 3. I think that travel catches up with them. Give me Washington.
Rams are at the Eagles. This is a rematch of last year's playoff game. Eagles a 3.5-point favorite. This feels a tick low to me, and I'm going to go with Philly to cover that number at home. Philly 3.5 at home.
Man, I'm torn on this one. There's this one and the last one we're picking. I'm torn on. I'm just going to go home team. I hate it. I hate the Eagles. I got yelled at by my wife this weekend because I screamed, I hate the Eagles at the TV in front of the children, and we shouldn't be telling our children we hate things. So give me the Eagles.
You know what I hate? That this is a 1 o'clock game. This is the best game of the weekend, probably, other than Lions-Ravens, and that's at 1. Instead, we get Cowboys-Bears at 4:25 as a nationally televised game. Stupid network has to have their stupid Cowboys on. Up yours, Cowboys. Give me the Eagles.
All right, Broncos are at the Chargers. This is a fishy line, guys. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites at home. Everybody's talking about the Chargers are the best team in the AFC. You know, the Broncos stink. They've lost to the Colts. They almost lost to the Titans. Well, here's the deal. The Broncos are going to win this game. This is when Sean Payton's at his best. Divisional game. I know the Chargers have gotten the better of them. The thing that worries me about this is the Broncos are 1-7 in one-possession games since the start of last year, but they're going to win this game by 2 possessions. L.A. isn't even a home field. SoFi, the Broncos will have more fans there than the Chargers. Denver.
Love your belief. I don't have the same belief. I'm going the Bolts. I think they're really freaking good right now. They're playing good football. They may wear off at the end of the year, but they get it done.
I think they're the 3rd best team in the AFC behind Buffalo and Baltimore. Give me San Diego or Los Angeles, whatever they're called.
San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they deserve to be called because they don't have a fan base either. They also are on short turnaround, short rest as they played that late game and had to travel back. Lions at Ravens, 4.5 is the Ravens line in their favor. I know the lines look bad against the Packers. This is a 4 o'clock kick, right?
Monday
Night Football. Wow. Somebody else go first here. I'm torn on this one.
Philip?
Okay, I'll do it. I think it's a 1-score game. And my philosophy when it's 4.5 and it's a 1-score game, I want to give myself the better odds to win. So I get 4 points of opportunity if Detroit wins. I only get 3 if the Ravens win. So I'm going to give myself the better odds. Give me Detroit.
The Ravens are averaging 40.5 points a game through 2 games. I just don't know if the Lions can keep up. Give me the Flock.
Flock.
They can keep up. They scored 52 last week.
They did, but the Bears are atrocious.
That's true.
They only scored, 13 or something against Green Bay?
Yeah. Hey, first game of the new coordinator, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to go Lions here, and I don't like it, but, the Ravens aren't going to go. You know what? I'm going Ravens.
Dang it. I closed my laptop and you change it.
Lions hang around. Ravens score late to put them away. That is my official take, and I'm probably going to regret it when the Ravens are kicking a game-winning field goal to win by 3.
I don't know who their kicker is. This is weird.
The ghost of Justin Tucker.
He gives the young man the power to put it through from 65.
Bonus pick, by the way. We're not actually adding this to the sheet, so you can close your computer, but our guy, Jansen Kidd, he says Trevor Lawrence, career game incoming. Also, BTJ. Who's that? BTJ for the Jaguars?
Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay, going to get back at it this week. He's got something to prove. 31-27 Jags. Texans at Jags. I consider putting that one on the list. I think the Texans are 1.5-point favorites or dogs. I think they're a dog, actually. I'm going to go Texans on the road there. Sorry, Jansen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jags. If the Texans lose, though, they're toast.
The Jags just lost to the Bengals' backup quarterback.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm switching Texans.
Brown.
Yeah, at least the Texans have lost to Baker Mayfield and Matthew Stafford. They ain't losing to Sunshine.
Sorry, Jansen. That probably means that your Jaguars will win. We got to get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show after this.
It's time to soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota. Summer is here with hot deals on a great selection of new Toyotas, like a Corolla, $189 a month, or Tacoma, $279 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville, we've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
My hair is definitely a reflection of who I am. Wild, fun, fiery for sure.
It just goes with the flow.
Me and my hair, both untamable.
I wear it how I feel.
Feel fearless.
Feel empowered. Look fantastic.
Look fantastic.
Look fantastic.
Feel unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
The sun is out, and so are the deals at Greenville Toyota. Soak up the savings on a hot selection of new Toyotas, like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $289 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.
Blue and gold, we're the purple and golds.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here, Hoist the Colors. Bobby Harward with us, brought to you by Sup Dogs, Philip Pilkin and producing. ECU, BYU, final thoughts. We got a few minutes left. How can the Pirates win this game, Bob?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to hit some explosive plays. I think that's going to be a key. I think we will see a few trick plays, a few things up the sleeve. This defense that we're facing in BYU is so good, you're going to have to run some of those things and hope they hit. You mentioned it earlier this week. Agree with you 100%. You got to win first down and convert on third downs. Because you got to keep those chains moving. That's the key. Because if this offense can keep the chains moving, they can then get in a groove and move the football, and that's how this offense operates and where you see most success. So just try to keep those chains moving. Hopefully hit a big explosive play or two or three, and don't turn the ball over.
We need an Anthony Smith deep ball touchdown, at least a deep ball completion. None of those really through 3 games. I mean, he hit a corner route versus BYU or versus Coastal, but like not a true Anthony Smith ball. Could we see that this week?
I'm gonna say your big deep ball is Yannick Smith. the other Smith brother. I'm going to say Yannick
Get off me moment.
Yes. He's going to shoot a fadeaway in the end zone after scoring his second touchdown. Anthony Smith is going to lead in receptions, but Yannick's going to have the bigger play.
If that happens, he will probably be penalized because it is Big 12 officials this weekend per the contract, which ECU had American officials in Provo. Cameron wants to know, we have received the ball first. We touched on that earlier, Cameron. So go back and rewatch the beginning of the show, but we all said ECU should defer. Johnny Gardner says recruiting weekend, and he wants to know about Demarion Van Kelly on the basketball front. It is a recruiting weekend, Johnny. 250-plus recruits. That's not counting their families in attendance, from what I'm hearing. A lot of visitors. And Van Kelly on the basketball front not expected to come at this point, from what I'm hearing. So they will have a few basketball visitors, or at least one, but he is not expected to be here. So huge, massive recruiting weekend for football. So best of luck to the football recruiting staff. And Aaron says this is the game we see Anthony Smith get past the defense. As long as it's one of the Smiths or Brock Spalding or Jaquez Petaway. Hopefully we see somebody make a big play. We are out of time, gentlemen. Bobby, appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
See you inside the FIC this weekend. Philip, thanks to you as well, man.
It was fun. Let's run it back tomorrow.
Let's do it. 4 to 6:30 on the pregame show. Philip Pilkington and I find us at Town Bank Tower. We'll be sweating, talking football, and getting that humidity up for the Cougars' visit to Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Should be a lot of fun. Everybody enjoy the football weekend. We'll be back Monday at 12 noon to break it all down on Voice the Colors. See you then.